Hello, my name is Charlie. I have the geosphere on Mount Rainier. Today we're going to look at problems of landslides common on the active stratovolcano called Mount Rainier using the scientific method. There are steps of the scientific method on landslides of Mount Rainier. Make an observation of landslides occurring while volcanic activity is underway. Form a question: why are landslides caused when there is volcanic activity on Mount Rainier? Form of hypothesis: volcanic activity causes magma movement towards the surface, altering the surface terrain and making the land on the surface to weaken as rocks are shifted aside.
Control the experiment. Create a controlled small figure of a volcanic mountain where the surface and crust is consisted of rocks and minerals. Conduct a small eruption to allow the experimenter to view the reaction of the surface and crust to volcanic activity after there is an eruption. And lastly, analyze the data to see the result of the controlled experiment and draw a conclusion.
Hello, my name is Leo and I'll be going over the hydrosphere at Mount Rainier. The problem that I chose was the ash that can come from Mount Rainier, which is an active volcano. A hydrosphere is a dynamic mass of water that is continually on the move, evaporating from the oceans to the atmosphere, precipitation to the land, and running back to the ocean again. Alright, this is the steps of the scientific method on how ash would affect Mount Rainier. The question that I came up with was, does ash affect Mount Rainier's water resources? The hypothesis to this is ash that is released from volcanic activity at Mount Rainier falls down on river streams and lakes, which contaminates the water supply systems. The controlled experiment that would conduct would be to create a controlled small figure of a volcanic mountain that has water supply sources like a river and a lake. Conduct a small eruption to allow the experimenter to analyze the effect of ash on the water supply around the volcano, which is Mount Rainier. Alright, to analyze the data, the water quality has been reduced drastically. The pH of the water supply has increased, which has become more acidic due to the ash that has fallen down. And then the ash and the gases in the air can mix with rain particles and create acid rain, which is due to the ash that formed from the volcanic eruption that was conducted during the experiment. And then finally, I used inductive reasoning to do my example. Every volcano that erupts releases ash into the atmosphere that affects the hydrosphere. Mount Rainier is an active volcano who can erupt at any time. Thus, ash can be released which will affect the hydrosphere. I conclude that ash that is formed by volcanic activity at Mount Rainier contaminates water sources and creates acid rain. The hypotheses needed to support my work would be a stratovolcano is built of many layers of lava, tephra, pumice, and volcanic ash. Stratovolcanoes have periodic explosive eruptions and effusive eruptions. And that is it.
Hi, my name is Trevor Henry, and I will be talking to you about the ecosphere of Mount Rainier. The ecosphere is defined as the biosphere of the Earth and other planets, especially when the interaction between the living and non-living components come together. Within Mount Rainier, there is a very vast ecosphere which allows all kinds of living and non-living to come together. Within Mount Rainier, the animal type is very large because of the vast landscape. At Mount Rainier, you can find 65 mammal species, 5 species of reptiles, 182 species of birds, and 14 species of native fish. Looking at past natural disasters such as Mount St. Helens explosion in 1980 shows us what could happen if Mount Rainier blew its top. If this was to happen, the ecosphere of Mount Rainier would change drastically, basically creating an environment totally new and not allowing wildlife and plant life to survive. This would lead to the ecosphere collapsing, because without the geosphere, hemisphere, and atmosphere, there would be no ecosphere.
Hi, my name is Hector Martinez, and I'll be talking about the atmosphere of Mount Rainier. The atmosphere is defined as a mixture of gases that are present on Earth. The composition of the atmosphere, excluding water vapor, below 80 kilometers is about 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen by volume, 76% nitrogen and 23% oxygen by mass. With Mount Rainier, there are many other type of gases being released due to the active stratovolcano present there. Due to the stratovolcano, gases such as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, hydrochloric acid, and carbon monoxide can be released to the environment. Problem: a volcano eruption on Mount Rainier affecting the atmosphere. As test to the scientific method on the possibility of a stratovolcano erupting on Mount Rainier. Make an observation. Observe the volcanic activities in Mount Rainier. Form a question. What will happen to the atmosphere in Mount Rainier if a volcano erupts there? Hypothesis: if a volcano erupts on Mount Rainier, the atmosphere will be completely affected as toxic gases will be released to the environment and sunlight will be limited. Controlled experiment. Create a controlled small figure of a volcanic mountain that has a bright light shining on it like a sun would shine on an actual mountain. Conduct a semi-medium eruption to allow experimenters to see how much of the light is still hitting the mountain through the smoke and see what gases were released. My last part is the atmosphere inductive reasoning example. Every environment in the United States is made up of many gases. In Mount Rainier, a volcano eruption will release water vapor and toxic gases into the atmosphere, gases such as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, hydrochloric acid, and carbon monoxide. I found out that when magma rises through cracks and weaknesses on the Earth's crust, this leads to magma exploding to the surface, causing a volcanic eruption. This inductive reasoning is on what would happen if a volcano eruption were to happen on Mount Rainier and what kind of gases will be released to the atmosphere by making observations and gathering data on the stratovolcano present at Mount Rainier National Park. Hypotheses needed to support work. If magma rises through cracks or weaknesses of the Earth's crust in Mount Rainier, then it will cause a volcano eruption there.